On to 1.5, and the first thing we need to look at is different types of business objectives. So businesses set their goals and objectives. The ones we need to see at GCSE are survival. Some businesses just set their goal to survive. Some go for profit maximization. They want to get as much profit. For the next year, we're going to have profit maximization. It could be they say, no, for the next year, we want to grow. We want to get bigger. It could be for the next year, we want to increase our market share, as in Nike if we say it works in the shoe market, they might have 50% of all of the sports shoes sold and Reebok has the other 50%. They would say, well, we want to increase our market share. We want to go up to 75%. So 75% of all sports shoes sold are from Nike and only 25% are from Reebok. Why do businesses need objectives? Well, they're incredibly useful for everyone in life, but particularly for businesses. Businesses are going to be pulled and tempted by lots of other things. There's going to be people say, buy this or advertise here. It gives them a sense of direction so they know what they're aiming to, so they're not going to be dragged off track into something that they're not really looking for, giving away money when they want to profit maximize. It allows workers to focus. Some say motivate. I don't love motivate as an answer because I think that's more mission statements, but it does allow workers to focus. They know what they're after. If the boss says we're profit maximizing, then that gives the workers the idea, okay, I better cut my costs and try and increase the profit. So they know what good things are. You can measure performance with it. If the boss says we want profit maximization and I don't make any profit, well, he then says, you're not doing a very good job. He can assess my performance against the profit I make. It will guide decision making. I don't know. A little bit similar with direction. I don't know. Should I buy this new car or should I increase the quality of customer service? Well, we're interested in growth. Our objective is growth. So we need to buy the new car because that's how we're going to transport people around. Next, we have to look at social enterprises and their objectives. Now, these are a little bit different to the standard companies. They're a fairly recent thing, but these are great. These are the ethical ones. These are the businesses that really, I think, can change the planet. Now, they are run like a business. They are looking to make profit. They're not a charity. They do want profit, but they set themselves a rule. They say, we will never put profit maximization as our goal. Always, always being ethical, being good, helping people will always come first. We don't mind making profit, but it can never come ahead of being good. That's social enterprises. Stakeholders next. Now, stakeholders are people who have a vested interest in the business. Confuses a lot of people, but here's a little silly way to try and remember it. So let's imagine your school says, we've got an urgent announcement, really important, and we're going to announce it on Thursday at 7 o'clock in the school hall. Now, I want you to think of all the different people who'd want to attend that meeting. Anyone who attends that meeting is a stakeholder. And where they sit, how keen they are, how long they stay, also tells you something about their level of interest as a stakeholder. So the owners would absolutely want to be at the meeting. They'd probably be on stage delivering the meetings. Owners and shareholders are stakeholders. We'd have the managers, the headmasters, the head of departments. They would be there and they'd be near the front going, hey, what's going on? We want to know about this. We've got employees. The teachers would be there, the cleaning staff. Hey, are we going to close? Are we going to lose our job? They are stakeholders. The customers would be stakeholders. The parents who attend the school would say, what's this announcement? They would be stakeholders. The government would be interested. What's going on with this school? Particularly if a private school. Are they going to close? We might need to get someone else, other schools opened up. So the government would be stakeholders as well. The local community might be interested as well. Are you going to expand and create more traffic? They would be stakeholders. Banks, particularly if they've lent money to the school, they'd say, well, hang on, are you struggling? Are you going to pay us this money back? They would also be stakeholders. Now, we need to know about the difference between internal and external stakeholders. Here's a silly, non-exact way to remember it. But imagine in your school hall, you've got the staff toilets. Who would go into those staff toilets? If they are going into the staff toilets, they are probably internal stakeholders. They're already within the business. So we're going to have the owners, the shareholders. Yes, they would go in. The managers, the teachers, they would all feel comfortable going into the staff toilets. The bank, Well, probably not. They shouldn't really be going into the staff. The customers probably not going into the staff toilets. They would be external. Not an exact science, but a rough idea of internal and external. Now, conflict between stakeholders. We need to think about two different groups. Now, when we talked about objectives of the business, also, each stakeholders would have their own objectives, and they're often going to be in conflict, creating problems. So if we go all the way back to Amira, who runs a hairdresser's, her objective would be to cut costs, let's say. But the employees, they'd want a pay rise. So there would be a direct conflict of objectives. Amira wants to lower her costs, and the employees want to essentially increase her costs by being paid more. Shareholders might want more money paid out to them in dividends, whereas the managers of the company might not want to pay out the money. They want to keep it in there so they can improve their work conditions and do better things. Customers, obviously, big conflict. Customers often want lower prices, and owners want to increase the prices to make more profits. Understanding these conflicts for businesses will help resolve them. Businesses need to be aware of them. Public and private sectors, well, they have different objectives. Private usually are driven, they want profit. They want to focus on efficiency and beating the competition. Their objective is that. The public sector ones, the ones run by the government, though, they'll have very different objectives. They're usually not all about aiming to make a profit. They're run by the government, so they're trying to focus on access, equity, create jobs, generally help the population. That brings us to the end of 1.4 and 1.5. I hope it's helpful. Please like and follow. If you've got any questions, write them in the comments.